Zoom or any kind of video conferencing call that you might be doing can be very scary. It's almost the same as being asked to speak in class where everyone can see you. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now my goal is that at the end of this video to be able to show you guys how to survive a Zoom call as an introvert. Now if this is your guys' first time on my channel, my name is Lacaba. I am the virtual ate. Been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run an outsourcing company here in the Philippines. And I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home, so make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now if you guys have been following through the mini series that I've done here throughout the month of February, where I've been talking about like how to work from home as an introvert, I've been talking about the 10 plus job interview tips that I have for introverts, and today we're gonna tackle Zoom. So Zoom or any kind of video conferencing call that you might be doing can be very scary. It's almost the same as being asked to speak in class where everyone can see you. Unlike if it's a normal classroom or if a normal meeting, in-person meeting, sometimes you can just see the backs of people's heads, so sometimes people aren't, noticing you, don't see you, but when it comes to a Zoom call, there's a chance that you're going to be seen, especially if you're the one who's going to be presenting a report, you're someone who is the main person, hosting or guiding people through that Zoom call. So it can be very scary. So in this video, I really outlined all of the top things that you can do to make being on Zoom a little bit scary for us introverts. So the first thing that you need to do to be a little bit more prepared when it comes to showing up on Zoom is to just check on yourself. So what I mean by this is check on your tools. So check on your internet, check on your environment, make sure you're not in a place where it'll distract people. If you want to use a Zoom background, you can also do that. Make sure that you're wearing something comfortable. So you can be wearing, a formal top and then shorts at the bottom, which is my combo, just to make sure that physically you feel okay. Now mentally, you have to also prepare yourself of like, okay, I'm going to be seeing probably 20, 30 people on a call. So I need to make sure that I am calm, to keep in mind that I'm not really always talking to all 30, 40 people. So basically to just breathe and relax and smile. Next is you want to connect with the host or whoever is probably the person who is managing or running if it's not going to be you. So you want to check on them, like check on the time, check if they need anything. This is just kind of more leaning into your power as an introvert, being the person who observes or being the person who sees more than people usually do. So try to connect with them. And if you don't feel that you are ready, you did your physical check, you did your mental check, you can ask if it is okay that you don't turn on your camera for some time, or you're just there for the intro and then you close your camera and then you're back on again. Because part of what is usually really draining when it comes to doing Zoom calls as an introvert is we feel like we're talking to a lot of different people or we're seeing a lot of different people's faces, and it can be draining. So even just the act of turning off your camera so you're not that self-conscious will help you. Although I really want to challenge you to build up that muscle, because like anything else, it is a muscle that you can build so you're a little bit stronger on that side. Next is to just prepare for the call itself. So whether it's making sure that you have a cup of water right beside you so you can easily drink water without having to stand up, whether it's making sure that your bladder is empty before it starts so you don't have to keep coming and going, or it could be just having a plushie or some stress ball that you can hold on to in the background so you have some way to release a little bit of the anxiety, a little bit of the scariness of jumping into a Zoom call. Next tip that I do have is try to not stare. What I mean by this, and I have done this myself a lot, especially when I'm feeling a little bit more self-conscious, is I'll end up just looking at myself on a Zoom call, which is not a good thing, because then I'm not listening, because then I am not, capturing what needs to be captured during the call. So try to zoom out from yourself. You can even click on a button where you can hide seeing yourself inside of Zoom. But generally, you want to make sure that you're not just staring at yourself. You're not constantly fixing your dress or your shirt or the angle of the Zoom call, because then you're going to be noticeable, and again, you're going to miss a couple of things when you keep doing that. Next is to make sure that once in a while you do interact, that you do speak up. And I don't really mean that you have to go all the way and unmute yourself, but what I mean is be on the chat box, be active, give people a woohoo or give people a pat in the back, comment when they're sharing a win, when they're talking about something, let some of your opinions be heard just so they know that you are listening, that you are someone who is interacting. Just because you are an introvert doesn't mean that you're not someone who likes connecting or talking to people. We just recharge in a different way. So keep that in mind. Connect with people, engage with them. Again, drop chats, schedule calls with people afterwards if you want to connect with them more. Just push yourself just a little bit further every time so you're gaining that confidence as you go on. Next is to keep in mind to take a break right after a Zoom call. So one thing that I need to do a little bit more myself is to make sure that I have a buffer time in between meetings. So then I can take a step back, I can grab my book, I can read a little bit, I can just flop on my bed for like 10 minutes to take a quick nap if I can, just to basically make sure that you recharge by yourself after a call. Try not to put one meeting after the other because then you're going to be so exhausted by the end of the day. Next is to make sure that after the Zoom meeting, you get up, you move around. If you don't have any more meetings at the end of the day, is to make sure that you have the separation between working mode and then personal or home mode. Especially nowadays when it comes to working from home, that line has become so sadly really blurred because even though we're at home, our workspace is right there, our internet, if it's fast enough, we can check our emails with our phone. So really try to make sure that you do that cutoff of like, okay, at 5 p.m. I'm not looking at anything anymore. I've done my work. I've done, the top priorities that I was supposed to be doing. So again, try to make that separation between working mode and personal life mode. Next thing that you can do to make your next Zoom call a little bit better is to make sure that there is a set agenda. Now, an agenda is usually a list of things that you want covered, or maybe you even have a suggested topic that needs talking through. So try to make sure that before the meeting you have an agenda or someone else has written out an agenda. You can look at it, you can browse through it so you can see where you can maybe interact, where you can contribute, and where you can lean into your superpower as an introvert to be able to give people insights and feedback. And speaking of feedback, the next thing that you want to make sure that you do as an introvert doing Zoom calls is to ask for feedback, because then you're able to know how you can do things better, how to be able to be more confident when it comes to showing up on video. Again, I know it can be really scary, it can be really shaky a little bit sometimes, but you have to make sure that you are improving yourself in some way when it comes to doing Zoom calls, because that's the thing about having a work from home career is eventually you're not just always going to be a participant. You're going to move up. You're going to start moving up in your career. So you need to, as early on as now, already be training yourself to be more confident, to speak up, to actually unmute yourself, and to actually show up for other people as well. And one of the best things that you can do as an introvert to improve your own Zoom etiquette basically is hop on calls with different people. Hop on calls with just a friend or a group of friends, just so you can really get used to the feeling of talking to people through video and not having the effect of getting really drained right away versus, having to meet them in person. So try to practice as much as you can. Look at your facial expressions. You can even do just a solo Zoom call and look at yourself, look at how you say things. That way, when you're actually doing the actual call, you're not just staring at yourself, like I said. So basically, I'm really hoping that with all of the tips that I just gave you guys today, the next Zoom meeting is going to be a lot better. So now we're going to hop on to our featured comment for this week, which is basically from the 10 plus introvert interview tips video, which is from Lori, where she says, "This is so amazing. I had an interview and I ended up hanging up because I felt so nervous. Thank you for this." So that is exactly what I mean is, as an introvert, you do have a different set of superpowers. You have a different set of skills. I know doing job interviews or just hopping on Zoom calls can be really scary, but the more that you actually do it, the more that you face it and see that things are okay, nothing explodes, you're going to be able to sleep tonight, is going to make it worth it as you keep practicing. So if you're really nervous right now about doing interviews, about doing calls, about showing up on Zoom, it's just going to get easier with time. There's not really a big hack to it. There's not really one big thing that I can give you right now that will make you feel more confident. other than telling you that it just gets better with time, because you keep iterating, you keep improving every time that you show up on video. Now, if you want your comment featured or if you want your question answered, make sure to leave a comment below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button right there. And if you still haven't, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home. You guys can check out these other 2 videos right here on how to start your own online career. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!